the worst thing that anyone could do is waste their time walking around complaining or being upset about anything. Look how beautiful the view is, right? I was literally across the street walking to the beach, and there's this lady with the dog yelling at her. I don't know, maybe it was the friends she was with, or she was upset at somebody. And it just made me think about how much and how many times that we've burned down our time complaining. You are burning down your time complaining, being upset, not being aware of the present moment, and actually just enjoying what's here. So now I say this because I am guilty of it, right? And I'm sure you guys are too. There's no way that you're not. But the reality is some people have this experience where they get overwhelmed by the situation. It takes over their mind, it takes over their brain, it takes over their rational thinking mind, and they lose control over their emotions, over their life, and they start to miss what is out in front of them, right? So you don't want that to be you. It's an amazing, beautiful day. The weather is amazing. And there's so much opportunity everywhere that if you spend even a second upset, complaining, unhappy, dissatisfied, you are burning down your time in a way that is so detrimental to your future that all you can do is become stuck in this loop, and you start to build up this negative emotion. You start to build up this negative filter, basically like poison or sludge that just like covers your rational mind, that stops you from being able to actually think and enjoy the experience. And so just think about what it's like when you're in the moment, when you're experiencing the presence of the world around you and you have clarity, right? So when you have clarity in life, in your environment, then you have a lot more awareness and capability to discover and look at opportunities, to savor the moments of life, to release bad energies, to, let it all go, and actually start to understand being present can give you the best opportunities in life. So if you think about it, the best way to spend your time is being present, looking at the environment, understanding who's around you, understanding what they have to share, if they're sharing value, if they're giving you something of value. Pay attention, because the reality is the blessings in life, the great things about life, the experience of life will start to click, and new doors open up, opportunities open up when you're in a positive mindset, in a positive frame of mind, when you're not complaining. What happens when you're complaining or you're upset is you start to shut down the reality of the world outside of you, and you basically cave in your own experience of mental distress or upset or whatever it is. Like, imagine burning down your time in a way that literally obliterates all of your opportunities in life. It obliterates all of your ability to experience what God has for you, and it obliterates your ability to see where you are, what you're doing, who you are, and develop yourself into somebody that you're proud of, that God would be proud of, that people around you are excited to know, are excited to engage with, and are actually willing to learn from. Because what happens is you become so valuable to yourself that other people start to realize that there's value just in your words, in your presence, in your experience, in your ability to experience life. And that is so valuable, because who's doing that? So what would happen if you actually stopped complaining, stopped being negative, stopped being concerned about your own drama situations? Look, I'm saying this because I'm guilty of it, right? But the reality is, what would you do? What would happen in your life, in your environment, if you were to change that? If you were to stop burning down your time with negativity, with complaining, with focusing on the void, focusing on the gap, right? Like, if there's a deficiency in your life, if there's a void in your life, people tend to put a lot of attention and focus and value on it, and that takes away your ability to actually fill the vacuum for yourself. So if you actually get out of your own way, get out of your head, take your attention off of yourself, off of your voids, off of the deficiency, off of the things that are making you upset, off of the things that you don't like or that are not in alignment, then you would actually start to see where you're out of alignment and you can actually start to correct that for yourself. And then what happens is you fill this void in your soul. You fill a void in your soul. You basically fill a void in your being that gives you the ability to actually just enjoy the moment. My God, what would happen if you actually just started to enjoy the moment and be present? The entire world would change. And if you allow the world to change, then you can actually change the world. People are so hung up on this idea that, we have to make an impact, we have to make a difference, we have to make a change. Just stop and be present and experience life. And from that place, the world will change. Your world will change. And then you understand how that can be a positive impact, how that can be valuable for other people around you. And you're no longer burning down your time. Because the worst thing that you can do is waste your time in a state of mind that's non-functional, that's not productive, that's not producing anything for you or for anybody else. So quit burning down your time. One of the things I wanted to talk about, so many people are burning down their time, whining, complaining, being upset, or in this like weird reactive state of insanity, right? So I think actually like a higher percentage of people are actually insane because they're not capable of actually thinking clearly because they're clouded by emotions. So when you're clouded by emotions, you're not able to think rationally. You're not able to enjoy the present moment. And if you look around, like look at how beautiful this view is, right? So if you're in a state of mind where you're present, where you're clear, your thinking is clear, your speaking is clear, your awareness and your perception of the present moment is clear. And essentially, you are able to see endless opportunities everywhere. So when you're busy wasting your time, burning down your time, complaining, being upset, being like in a state of confusion, or literally being taken out of the present moment, literally not able to experience life, you're closing doors, you're shutting down your opportunities, you're burning your time, you're wasting time, and you're literally not able to experience the best things that are out there for you. So to take a moment, look around, evaluate where you're at, evaluate what you're thinking, evaluate the frame of mind that you're in, the frame of mind that's running you, your internal dialogue, the things that are literally controlling what you're experiencing in your life. These are filters that get piled onto your brain, piled into your mind, ideas and thoughts and considerations, all these things that actually cause you to filter your experience of life and reality in the present moment and takes you out of the game, so to speak. Because what is going on in the present moment? Well, the reality is if you're able to stop and look at it, there's millions of things happening outside of you. But if you're stuck inside of your own mind, if you're stuck inside of your own thoughts and behaviors, you're only concerned with what's going on in here. You're not able to see what's actually happening out there. What happens is you start getting caught up in what's going on in your own thoughts, your own perception of reality, things that aren't necessarily even true, just triggers, just emotional triggers that literally rob you of your experience of life, robs you of your experience of the present moment. And that is, that's the matrix. That's what everyone is calling the matrix, because it's literally you, but it's the part of you that's stopping you from existing and experiencing and seeing the world outside. And so when you start to break out of that, you are no longer burning down your time, right? People who are stuck in the matrix of their own thoughts, their own mind, their own mess, the filters distort your view of reality. It distorts your view and perception of the present moment, of the world outside of you. So if you actually want to see what's going on outside of you, you have to lift the veil. You have to break the matrix programming. You have to break the programming that you've indoctrinated yourself into by allowing the outside world to place this programming upon you. And that's where people get stuck in these ideas, the thoughts, the upsets, the anger, the negativity, and it literally just burns down your time. So if you want to stop burning down your time, you need to evaluate the framework of thoughts, the self-talk, the dialogue, and start to break your own matrix programming. So when you're trapped in this reality, this matrix, the matrix of thought, of all these accumulated ideas and restrictions and limiting beliefs and everything that kind of blocks and impedes your reality from actually being great, what happens is your reality starts to suck. You get sucked into that sucking reality, and then you start to enforce that suck reality on all these other people around you. And then you actually create more of what sucks. So another reason why you just have to break out of that, get out of that thought pattern of what's wrong, of being a victim, of being effect to the environment, of complaining about things, of things not being perfect, because you're literally just burning your life to the ground. So stop doing that and start looking at the present moment, what's outside, what's available, what opportunities are here, and how awesome of a life that you could create if you were to break out of that matrix programming and start to just experience the present. Be present. And the more that you're present with yourself, the more that you're present with other people, the more that you can start to see all those thought patterns, all those things that have built up over time that have robbed you of your experience of life. So with that said, make sure you go out, experience life, be present, and make it great.